The state of Karnataka is home to many exquisites. In this beautiful land, nature has created a special impression on its own. The beautiful nature and forest treasure of the state has been protected by the Karnataka Forest Department with utmost care and concern. Cradled and surrounded by river Kaveri on all sides, this place has proved to be the perfect habitat for birds that flock here from all over the world. Inviting the tourists to come to see its beauty in all its entirely with open arms is the Ranganathitu Bird Sanctuary. The Ranganathitu Bird Sanctuary has earned the moniker of Pakshi Kashi and Queen of Bird Sanctuaries. Among the various wildlife sanctuaries present in the state, Ranganathitu Bird Sanctuary is unique to say the least. It is common to hear about man being the cause behind the destruction of nature. However, Ranganathitu has proved to be an exception. A small weir built across the river Kaveri by the Vadiyars of Mysore centuries ago has caused the river water to impound and has created numerous small islets which have provided a safe haven for the birds to nest and breed. The Ranganathitu Bird Sanctuary has an interesting history. Famed ornithologist Dr. Salim Ali visited this area during 1939 and 40. And after witnessing the staggering avian biodiversity, he persuaded the Maharaja of Mysore to declare this area as a bird sanctuary. Upon his persuasion, Maharaja notified 3 sets of islands. One set of 2 islands named Devraja Islands, second island near Palahalli village named Puttayanakoppalu Island, and third set of 3 islands named Gende Hosahalli Islands near Mahadevapura as Ranganathitu Bird Sanctuary. Subsequently, on September 1st, 1998, Ranganathitu was re-notified as a bird sanctuary under the provisions of Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Tourists who visit the Ranganathitu Bird Sanctuary for the first time will not be left wondering how they will be able to identify the various bird species. and know about them, as the Forest Department has set up an information center at the sanctuary to ensure tourists are not disappointed. Dr. Salim Ali Information Center at the sanctuary gives a brief overview of the sanctuary and also introduces the various bird species to the tourists, which also informing them about the time of their arrival, unique traits and morphological characteristics. Apart from this, one can get a first-hand experience of various bird calls with the help of acoustic facility at the center. Another important attraction at Ranganathitu is the boat ride. The Forest Department has made adequate arrangements to mesmerize the tourists with the boat ride. Over 18 boats are stationed at all times to ferry tourists who wish to avail boating service at the sanctuary. As soon as one sets foot on the boat, they overcome with excitement. When the boat moves, the crocodiles, which are another major attraction at the sanctuary, are spotted. The sanctuary is home to over 100 marsh crocodiles. The boatmen who man the boats are a treasure trove of information. They are well acquainted with the ecology of the place, the various bird species, and the river Kaveri. Perched on the branches of the islands, the birds at the sanctuary are a sight to behold. The birds which fly past the boats time and again are a treat to watch, and the birds themselves may wonder who these new guests are when they spot tourists. During the boat ride, one gets to see breeding colonies of thousands of birds on the various islets at the sanctuary. It is a feast to the eyes to see various bird species being involved in taking care of the young ones by feeding them food and water, which makes one emotional. During peak summer, to protect the young hatchlings, birds draw water from the river and sprinkle it on their nests to keep the young ones cool. It is also common to see them provide shade to young ones by spreading its wings. To see all this activity is nothing short of a visual treat. Those tourists who capture these moments through their cameras will have the trip to the sanctuary etched in their memories. Boating is not the only attraction at Ranganathittu. The sanctuary also boasts of a well-maintained park. A rock garden, an interpretative zone, and a hoodlot are all part of this park. The rock garden at the sanctuary is one of the main parks at the sanctuary. A pathway that has been carved on the island is bound to make one fall in love with nature. Paragols are present all along the pathway to allow the tourists to relax and bask in the beauty of the island. one side of the pathway is a line of bamboo clumps. On the other are peepal trees. A slight gush of wind will result in leaves falling from trees and would seem like the trees themselves are welcoming the people setting foot on the island. The Maharaja watchtower and the other watchtowers allows one to bask in the beauty of the island, the river, the birds and the crocodiles. While walking in the park, one can see sunbirds, bulbuls along with colorful butterflies that are present in the park. The hanging bridge at Ranganathitu has been another value addition to the sanctuary. Irrespective of how hot the weather is, as soon as one walks on the hanging bridge, one won't feel hot anymore. The game of light and shadows are seen here when one finds the shade of the trees when taking a step followed by a stretch that is sunny when there is no shadow from a tree. Trees such as sandalwood, honge, Indian beech tree, nerale, jamun tree, mango, wild almond, peepal, atti, gobbali, guava, kumkuma, fig tree, jackfruit and Niru Matti are planted on the island in the woodlot. All along the pathway are over 50 boards displaying information about various birds of the sanctuary. In order to ensure Ranganathitu flourishes as a nature hub laden with forest wealth, the Forest Department has enforced a ban on plastic in the sanctuary. Cleanliness too has been given a major push in the sanctuary. Many personnel of the sanctuary have been striving hard to maintain cleanliness in Ranganathitu. Free drinking water facility is also present at the sanctuary to facilitate the tourist. Ranganathitu is not just a bird sanctuary, but it has become a hub of biodiversity owing to the presence of monkeys, otters, snakes and butterflies. The Forest Department too has been striving hard to protect the various flora and fauna at the island. Ample parking space has been created at the sanctuary for those who throng to the sanctuary from various parts of the country. A site map of the sanctuary is also present at the parking lot to orient the tourists towards various attractions. To cater to the hunger pangs of the tourists, a canteen is also present near the parking lot. This is the beauty of Ranganathitu. If you want to learn about the various bird species or spend some time amidst nature, you should visit this bird paradise at least once. It truly is an unforgettable experience to spend a day amidst the chirping of birds and the clean environment of the Ranganathitu Bird Sanctuary.